On the 8th of December, my wife had a lot of back pain. And we were taken to hospital and they found out that she was 2 centimetres dilated. It meant that we were getting airlifted straight to Sydney Hospital. She was pumped full of steroids. And but as you all know, life doesn't always go according to plan. I love the story about the man who works from his home office and a little boy comes in one day. He's 8 years of age. He says, "Hey, Daddy, any chance we can play catch?" Daddy says, "Sorry, son, I'm busy." Next day, little boy comes in, "Hey, Daddy, any chance we can play catch?" "Sorry, son, I'm busy." Third day in a row, little boy comes in, knocks on Daddy's door. Daddy says, "Son, told you yesterday, told you the day before, I'm busy, I can't play catch." He says, "Oh, Dad, I wasn't going to ask you to play catch today." He goes, "Oh, what were you going to ask me?" He says, "I was going to ask you how much money you earn an hour." Daddy says, "Son, that's a very rude question, but I earn $50 an hour, so I can put a roof over your head and food in your tummy, so please get him out of my office, I've got work to do." Little boy doesn't knock on that door for a week, a month. 2 months goes by before that little boy knocks on Daddy's door. He says, "Hey, Daddy." "Yes, son." "Daddy, over the last 2 months, I've been mowing lawns, I've been pruning trees, I've been doing every single chore that my mum has asked of me, and I've been able to raise $25. Daddy, I was wondering if I could give you this $25, could I please just have half an hour of your time? And Daddy, could we please go and play catch?" So often we look at success by the materialistic possessions that we perceive are important. I would give away every little bit of success I've ever had to have a healthy little boy come and knock on my door and say, "Hey, Daddy, any chance we could go and play catch?" My journey began when I was 11 months of age. I went to the doctors with my mum, and the following morning I was diagnosed with an incurable cancer of the central nervous system. The doctor said I had a 96% death rate. Go home. Take your boy home and allow him to live an extra month with his family because there's nothing that we can do. My mum asked one question: "I don't want to know what the chances are of my son dying, I just want to know what the chances are of my son surviving." I'm so lucky every day that my mum chose to look at my life not being 96% empty, but she chose to look at my life being 4% full. I started chemotherapy on my first birthday. My chemo cycle was 9 days on, 3 days off, 9 days on, 3 days off, not for weeks, not for months, but for years. My mum had to go to death counselling once a week for 2 hours to deal with what was going to happen to a little boy. I say to people all around the world that I'm one of the lucky ones, but I never say I'm one of the lucky ones because I'm still alive. I say I'm one of the lucky ones because I wasn't my mum. My mum was the one that had it tough. After way too many years in hospital, the doctor came in and said to my mum, "Kerry, we have no idea how, we have no idea why, but you can take your little boy home." Everything was going to be okay. My mum carried the fear and the burden of her son dying because she wanted me to lead a normal life. That's optimism. That's what true courage is. My wife and I were due to have a beautiful baby midway through February 2018. On the 8th of December, my wife had a lot of back pain. And we were taken to hospital and they found out that she was 2 centimetres dilated. 4 days later, on the 12th of December at 6:40 p.m, we had a beautiful little boy who was very unwell. He was taken away from us and stuck in intensive care unit level 3. They thought he had an illness called sepsis. They told us that we had maybe 4 days with our little boy. And that afternoon he was put straight back on a plane and he was airlifted back to Sydney. He stopped breathing twice on the plane. It was the first time that I walked a day in my mum's shoes. I would give away every little bit of success I've ever had to have a healthy little boy come and knock on my door and say, "Hey, Daddy, any chance we could go and play catch?" But then about a week after we got back to Sydney, I captured his first little smile. Every time I've been knocked down, I've always remembered what my mum told me, and that was, "Son, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life, it's about how many times you get back up that truly determines the quality of your life." And I remember that day I thought, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. What makes today even more special is I have my beautiful little boy here with me today. So please welcome to the stage Mr. Lachlan James. We love him more than we could ever imagine. He's opened up a new valve in my heart for me to truly understand now what love is And I'm so grateful every day to have this little boy in our life. I promise you, when you begin to prioritise what's important, you finally start to live your life. Spend your life working so hard to enjoy that life that you have been blessed with. So things are doing really good. But you know, I've realised in my life that the quality of one's life is not dictated, nor is it determined by the amount of days that we live on this earth. It's about what we fit into those days that allows us to live a remarkable life.